This is the plaintiff, Stephen Paul. He says he purchased a transmission from the defendant for a customer of his, and the thing was defective. At first, the defendant told him he'd give him a full refund. Now he's changing his tune and offering store credit. His business is located 100 miles away from the defendant's business. The guy's a crook, and he's here suing him for the $2,665 he's owed. This is the defendant, Anthony. He says the plaintiff got a receipt which clearly states no refunds after 30 days, and he does not accept tampered merchandise. The plaintiff sent 2 guys to his shop. They blocked his driveway. Things got heated, and his father was even threatened with physical harm. Bottom line, he's in business 40 years, and he's not taking any you-know-what from anyone, and he owes the plaintiff nothing. He's accused of tranny troubles.
All parties, please use your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff bought a transmission from the defendant, says it was terrible, but the defendant says it's simple, no refunds after 30 days. It's the case of unpopular mechanic.
Thank you, Douglas. Carmen Auto Group?
Yes, Your Honor.
Represented here by Mr. Paul. You are the manager?
I am.
You are suing the defendant's company. You don't want the company name mentioned or your last name, so what are we going to call you?
Anthony.
Anthony. Okay. You are the manager?
Yes.
And you have authority from the owner to represent?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You are suing them for $2,665 that you say they owe you for breaching a contract. Talk to me. What happened?
Okay. On February 27, 2016, we purchased a transmission from the defendant. I sent one of my employees up. It was a Saturday to pick it up, paid for it with a check.
How much did you pay?
$1,100, Your Honor.
Okay.
And $200 to the driver to go pick it up because it was his day off. It wasn't part of our normal, not part of his normal job.
And the person is your employee?
Yes.
Okay.
Former employee. He's no longer employed by us.
But at the time he was?
He was, Your Honor.
And this is a transmission that you were putting into?
A car that we own.
A car that you own?
Yes, it's an inventory car. We sell used cars.
Okay, gotcha.
And we had called earlier that week to see if they had the transmission. Going to their website has a statement right on the front page saying 30-day warranty. We had called them, we ordered the transmission, and sent our employee up to pick it up. We started installing it on Monday, in between doing other work because we only had the one mechanic. We got finished by Thursday of the same week. And he tested it and found that the transmission was bad. It's neutraling out. So when you drive it, it just goes into neutral by itself. He tried to make every adjustment, couldn't do it. We called the defendant. He said, well, you need to change the transmission control module. And he had one in the car that transmission came out of to match it up to the transmission. He said he would send it to us. Then finally he said— Is
he who you were having the discussions with?
I was on the phone most of the time.
Yes, but it wasn't me. It was my partner, Nate, who was supposed to be here today. And unfortunately, he's at a funeral. His brother-in-law passed away, so he's not here.
Okay.
But Nate spoke to Anthony, and he said that we'll send it, and never sent it. So finally, he said, take it to Volkswagen, have them reprogram it, and it should be fine. We did that. We towed it to a local Volkswagen dealership. They checked it out. They said the transmission's bad. Charges another— Do you have that? Yes, I do.
From the Volkswagen dealership?
I do.
And my question to you is, do you have the original invoice between the two of you for this part, the transmission?
I do not.
Okay. You have it, though, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me see that.
I have a copy of the check.
I also have the letterhead of the check he paid with. And all the terms are on the—
So what do you normally do when the transmission doesn't work?
I exchange your credit within 30 days. I offered him the computer.
Is that what your invoice says?
Yes.
Does your invoice say anything?
On the reverse side.
Okay.
That's all the terms there. I highlighted what you should read. There's a lot. I didn't make it.
Okay. Okay, you know in here, one of the first things it says is you waive all claims for consequential damages. That means, oh, it cost me X amount to tow it here. It cost me X amount to get this,
No labor
Did you read that?
Well, I never saw, we never got a copy of the receipt.
Wait, you never got a copy of it, or you didn't keep the copy?
We never got a copy of it.
Do you have one with his signature on it? Because this doesn't have his signature.
No, there's no signatures. It's a printout.
Well, it's not a printout. This is a carbon.
Well, that's a carbon copy.
Right, so there could be an opportunity to have a signature because there's no reason for it not to be. Received by should be the guy who's receiving it.
There was no signing going on, but
right.
I mean, you pay $1,100. The delivery driver's job is to pick up parts all day long.
Sure, and he signs for them.
And you get a receipt.
Right, and he signs for them.
$1,100, you don't leave the office without a receipt. You don't leave McDonald's without a receipt.
I understand, but okay. The bottom line is you wouldn't have seen it anyway because you sent a guy. And I have to imagine that this is industry standard too, because they can't control if whoever's putting it into your car messes it up.
Yes, I have photos of signs all over the office stating that there's no cash refunds, not responsible for labor costs.
Yeah, I mean, you can't run a business otherwise.
All returns must be accompanied with original invoice.
I mean, have you ever bought from somebody that didn't have this policy?
No.
Right.
So if the sign says no refund, are you believing this customer that the guy was promised a refund?
No, the sign says no refunds. No refunds, no refunds. It's clearly everywhere. It's black and white.
Is it possible that that the merchant said we will give you a refund?
Yeah, he could say it.
You believe it?
Well, I wouldn't believe him. He could say it just to sell it to him, but...
Fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
They all have this policy,
yes,
right?
But finally, he said, bring the transmission back and I'll give you a refund.
No,
a refund. He said it was going to be a refund.
Why would I change 40 years of policy for
Because you told us you were going to give us a refund.
I never said refund.
Can you prove that?
No, there's no way to prove it. But I wouldn't have sent the transmission back and spend another $200 to send the transmission back with a guy that we use to tow cars and things like that, and expect that I'm going to get a store credit from a place that's 90 miles away. He specifically said to Nate that
you don't know this because, I'm sorry, with all due respect, I'm sorry that the situation ended up the way it ended up, but this is rank hearsay on your part for a really critical part of the evidence because of the misfortune that Nate had.
Yeah.
In any event, let's talk about what happened. So who goes over there? Not you, not Nate, but somebody else, right?
We use a guy for towing cars, and we send him up. According to the person who's delivering, he says, where's the receipt? And my guy said, oh, I don't know, let me call. He called me, he said, where's the receipt? We scrambled, talked to Marty's the guy who picked it up. He said, Steve, I never got a receipt. I gave him the check, I got the transmission, I walked away.
Let's assume he got a receipt and lost it. What's the problem with taking back the transmission and giving him a store credit? Wait a minute, hold on.
Okay.
A store credit, which is what you say was the agreement. Let's go with your agreement.
Yes.
You know the guy bought it from you. You've been having all kinds of discussions with them. You know that it's not like he bought it at Bloomingdale's, he's trying to return it at Macy's.
Of course.
So what difference did it make that they came without a receipt when they were driving 90 miles?
Who came down with the tranny were not the same people I've seen. It was a really heavily tinted truck with rims and a paper bogus plate, a paper temporary plate, no logo on the side. I'm not going to hand you.
I know, but then you talked to them and you knew it was them.
We saw the tranny, we opened it up and everything. Things looked like they may have been tampered with, but we didn't go that far because there was no receipt.
You have a copy of the receipt, so you know exactly what it is you sold them.
No,
you know
exactly.
Is there a serial number on that thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know it's the thing that you sold them. So why didn't you just accept it and give him a store credit?
That's business. You need your receipt. You can't get fries from McDonald's without a receipt.
Okay, I don't understand why you wouldn't just take it back and give him a store credit, and then we're done.
My boss is on the phone with their company getting threats, telling that
your boss is your dad, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
So my father, they're blocking the driveway.
What are the threats?
Quote, that my guys are ready to come out there and tune you up. So at that point, I hung up the phone, called the police. Police said same thing. Can't do anything without a receipt. Go to small claims.
Yeah, well, he's here now, and I find that the lack of a receipt is not a problem. I have a do you get a refund problem versus do you get
There's no cash back anyway. The reason we are so far on the receipt.
There's no question pending.
Sorry.
You know, I mean, I really don't believe that these folks would ever offer cash back.
Well,
it's just not, it's all over their store that they don't do that. That's not their policy. So, you know, do I think that it's their shortcoming on standing on ceremony on the receipt? Yeah, kind of. Do I think that it's your shortcoming on demanding a refund versus a store credit? Yeah, kind of. So now what? Now what do we do? Where's the transmission? In your shop?
Yes.
Yeah, and you don't have the right to sue for consequential damages according to this, and I am finding it hard to believe that your delivery guy leaves without one. That does strain credulity a little bit. I'm going to order you guys to give him the credit, the store credit of the $1,100.
Full 11, yes.
Yeah, that's going to be my verdict, and you are going to have to get that transmission back to that side, because I don't see any other way around that.
Your Honor.
That's my verdict. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
So the plaintiff is going to get the $1,100 store credit. Mr. Paul, if you'll step over here. You seemed very frustrated at the end of the case there. What did you want to say to the judge?
Well, they promised us a cash refund because we were so far away.
She doesn't believe that at all.
I know, and
Okay.
and now to get a store credit, I don't want to do business with these people anymore. I mean, after they gave us a bad transmission and they, you know.
You don't get the cash.
No, I know.
So
I know.
if you want the transmission, you want the credit, you got to give the transmission back.
Right,
You'll
which
get the
costs
store
another
credit. Maybe you can
$200.
use something from them sometime. Okay.
I don't want to do any business with them.
All right.
That's it.
Well, you figure out what you want to do.
Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. All right. Thank you. Now here comes Anthony. You know, he's very frustrated. He doesn't want to do business with you. So
fine by
anyway,
me.
you're still willing to give him the store credit.
I mean, at this point, I have to. I just think this was a
Yes, you
big
do.
waste of time for, I think, a common sense case.
Okay.
Clearly stated everything that she said,
yep.
everything that I said.
Well, she goes right along with you.
I think it went the way it should have.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Hope you enjoyed your day in court. Harvey, what do you think?
So when a business has a written policy and that somebody says something verbal to the contrary, get that something in writing.